And we're back.
And we're back.
Did
I wonder. Well, I started to think that I should start in response to whatever it is that I just posted on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So I called a well-respected magician a bad name.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about your nice new haircut that you showed the world.
Oh, I did. Well, Nate cut it last night during the game, and so.
Oh, nice.
And then took a picture, and I was like, well, I guess I have to post that kind of thing, right?
I was wondering who took the picture.
What was better, the haircut or the cut? Which cut was better?
Well, I've filmed that cut 9 times already.
True.
So the haircut.
Right? Just because it's newer.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, they haven't seen, because last time we teased the hair. Now
that was just, it was shaved. Now it's like grown in. Now this is another new haircut.
But yeah, so you threw your hat in the ring for the drama? Yeah,
there's drama. You know, we talked about the fact that there's not Cardistry news. You know? And then I was also talking about that I'm probably going to have to start ranting or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was like a one-word rant that I went on.
Which was your favorite word?
It's my favorite word because it's the heart of all insults. You know? And that's why I did it. And it's not because it's... Now, I called him that. I called him that word, but he's not that word in all circumstances. He was just that word while he was a person that I decided to be in a beef with.
Yeah.
On my own. I put myself in the beef. But I did get triggered though.
Well, you're
straight up. I did not like his story.
You're playing the pronoun game. So for everyone who doesn't know whom we're speaking of, who are we speaking of?
Los Angeles.
Yep, Jeremy Griffith.
Yep.
And
extremely talented person. This is just a strange thing to talk about because it almost has nothing to do with him. Of why I felt like it was a good idea to call the magician a loser. Because the beef, well, you might know more about the beef thing than I do. I posted what I posted like 5 minutes before they both posted, hey, we're good.
Just perfect time.
Yeah. Like it was perfect time because I barely squeezed in and I wanted to do it.
You showed up at the house with the pitchchfork and the sign, and they're like, "No, we're fine."
Yeah, what are you doing here, bro? Like, I thought we were okay.
Okay.
No, yeah. So, but you might know more about.
Well, who started it? Was it Jeremy?
I don't know.
It was Jeremy. Jeremy started it. Jeremy made a comment about essentially Kalen only using gaffs and gimmicks to achieve his visual imagery,
right?
His tricks, and Jeremy was saying like try actually being good at sleight of hand, right? He just kind of made like a jab.
Yeah.
To which Kalen replied like, "Okay, here's my challenge. You make 3 gaffs, or I think even like one gimmick."
So Kalen brought up the duel idea, the challenge,
right out of the bat.
And then, but do you think that was prompted by him saying?
It was prompted by Jeremy.
Because I wonder if it hasn't been an ongoing frustration between the two of them or whatever.
I'm sure they were in each other's periphery
or something
for doing that. I also had and maybe this is just the fact that everything is theater today that I'm wondering this, is if it was like there's DMs between them that's like, look, I want to start this magician duel. Because that came right on the heels of it.
Right, well that's Kalen is a competitor.
And it's not hard to create an Instagram account. My brain was just like, I wonder if they just like, okay, then you say this, then I'll say this, and then boom.
Well, they're both smart enough to do such a thing or something. But it almost doesn't matter. And it also, for what I did, it doesn't matter. And it also doesn't matter who started what.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that I was commenting on was I just didn't like him saying that it was okay with him if one of the best magicians in the last 100 years faded into irrelevancy.
Which was
I think you don't really like magic if you think it's okay for one of the most talented people to just disappear or something. And so that was enough for me to be like, okay, I don't like that.
If I didn't know you and your history with Kalen,
Yeah. Oh,
I
right.
would look at Kalen's Instagram and think he was irrelevant because Kalen nuked his YouTube, he nuked his Instagram, and now he's experimenting on Instagram in the same way that Patrick posts Cardistry on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And so if Jeremy didn't know that he consulted for Copperfield, that he's created some of the most incredible illusions ever, and that,
He has to know.
well, I don't know. I didn't know until you told me. I thought he was a YouTube guy. Who
Yeah,
did,
well, but all that deleting of everything, like, has nothing. He was still making crazy magic the whole. He didn't stop making crazy magic
right.
the whole time. So here's now. Kalen apologized in his thing, I think. Or like he was happy for it to be settled, and like he expressed.
Yeah, they both quickly came to a resolution.
That they respected each other and they understand that they're doing different things and that kind of stuff. But so that would be a good reason to. If it's over for them, it's obviously over. For so if it was ever a thing, if it was even ever.
I mean,
thing,
you could try and poke it with a stick again.
well, but I couldn't concede that part. I don't think it's the case that sleight of hand magic is more difficult or on par with what Kalen does.
Not at all. Not
So
at all.
I don't have that gear to go into that Kalen expressed. That I don't really have that much respect for that skill level. Like, I think I could for sure learn all of that I already know most, and certain that there's not a sleight of hand move that is out of my grasp.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a few days and I could learn anything. So with that perspective, putting cardistry first, genuinely, putting cardistry first, I don't have to have respect for sleight of hand magic.
Well, gimmicks,
it's not that great. Gimmick magic is a miracle to me. Like, that's
it's
so creative.
Gimmick magic is cardistry because you and I have had this conversation many times over that the reason why cardistry is so freaking hard is you are going into the unknown and inventing the tools to find new technologies. You have to both invent the tools and invent the technology and then become good at it.
That's right.
And that's exactly what Kalen's doing with gimmicks. He's inventing all of it.
Yeah.
Start
That's
to
a good
finish.
point. I like that. I like saying that.
And so
it's a hardest. I think it's a harder project in the way that
Yes.
maybe cardistry is a more difficult project than learning sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Creating gimmicks is a more difficult project than learning sleight of hand. By the way, Kalen, I haven't talked to him in a little while, but when I left, he was a very good. He had plenty good sleight of hand.
Yeah. I think
And he went through a phase. I'm pretty sure he went through a phase where he did just ungimmicked, like, long card routines.
Yeah.
Like, he's explored that. He's not void of it. So I said a bad word to a respected person. Didn't need to do it. Took it down after like 20 minutes or something. He messaged me confused.
Jeremy did?
Yeah, he was like, well, understandably confused. And then I told him, he told me what had happened, that they had made up and stuff, and that he was making sure that I didn't think something that wasn't untrue. So he expressed that. And then I said, well, I didn't like what you said about what you were saying to my friend, so I felt like responding.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
So all that's to say, I am going to start ranting.
Great.
And it's going to be something like calling people losers. Well, I don't want to call everybody a loser, so that was just a one-word rant.
Well,
that's as good a one-word rant as you can have, in my opinion. So I just used it in this case.
Call everyone a loser except for the people who aren't.
Yeah. Everybody that's not a loser doesn't have anything to worry. No, but he's also not. He's also not a loser. I do retract my. I got what I wanted out of. I got my.
Catharsis.
I got my catharsis out of doing it. I now retract it. And he likes cardistry too. So.
He kind of does his own sort of version of it with his unboxing and performance videos and whatnot. I always have a special place in my heart for table magic, and I would love to have an outlet or an avenue for that. Table magic, I think, then went to stand up, walk around, because you had to be able to hold the cards in your hands and approach people.
Yep.
It weirdly mixed with the PUA type world, the pickup artist world of cold approach, of NLP and social engineering.
It takes all kinds of different skills to be a good professional magician.
Yeah.
And one amongst them is having competent sleight of hand, and his is very pretty. And I assume I haven't seen it, like haven't looked at magic in a long time. So Theory 11 could, like I was saying before, Theory 11 could not be a company anymore, and I just wouldn't know. So I kind of jumped in cold feet. But that was the other thing. He's not in my hierarchy. Because I'm cardistry first. I'm only concerned about cardistry.
Right.
He's not in my hierarchy. So it has to be acceptable for me not to have a consensus view.
Did you notice that when Kalen proposed the worldwide magicians battle, whatever it's called, he proposed the idea, what if we had a sponsorship from a big magic company? And he listed Murphy's, he listed Illusionist, he listed one other, and he never listed Theory 11. So was that either intentional or just totally slipped his mind, which is also a data point that's interesting?
Couldn't say. I have no idea. Are there? I guess there's got to be magician podcasts, right?
Yeah.
I've heard some. I just wonder if there's not like an authority one or like the big one or that would know. I don't know. Don't care. Kalen's a king. And he is a king. He said that in the video.
Yeah.
He said he called himself a king, and the reason I wanted to follow up because I think that is the correct thing for him to think, because he is. Like, he shouldn't question himself at this point, in my opinion. And so I didn't like seeing somebody try to make him feel small or something, because he shouldn't be. He shouldn't. It'd be such a waste for him to try to feel small. So.
Yeah,
and that might just be like being friends. That might just be respect or something, but
to some degree,
loyalty or something. But even if it's loyalty, I'm happy with it.
Well, it's loyalty with reason, with cause.
Yeah,
it's not uncaused loyalty. And I'm kind of exhausted with people with false humility. If you are a king, call yourself a king. Patrick was kind of the first to do that. He called himself God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good job, man.
Nobody really got annoyed. I mean, some people got annoyed, but we all accepted it because he earned it.
Right.
And he maintains it.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to the magician battle thing? I know you are cardistry first, but
yeah, I did see. I don't know. I would watch that. I should probably message Kalen. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, hit him up.
Why? Just to say, hey. I just love what he's doing. I feel.
Yeah, the nothing experiment. Now, do you have a little black book written in red ink with a hit list of people to call?
No. These things are very spontaneous.
Okay.
That was very spontaneous. I may have gotten it out of my system forever.
That was it, one and done.
Because the other week I really did mean it when I was like, I think the only way to engage is for me, like, to say things that I'm uncomfortable saying. Like, I was not comfortable doing that. But I think that that's something that I need to embody more. So, if good information about how to make good cardistry can happen.
And I don't think you're saying that because being a provocateur is A, something you want to be, or B, the only way to make content interesting. I don't think you're trying to just be clickbait. I think what you're touching on is that the good cardistry information is in the realm of saying uncomfortable things.
Yes. And part of the uncomfortable thing is addressing the magician thing. That if you're cardistry first, you have to, in some way, think that magicians are using playing cards wrong.
Which is
like as if they're playing your game and doing it wrong.
That's a terrifying thing to declare and defend.
Yeah, well, it is a different game. If I talked about what things to make sure to remember while making cardistry, I would list different things than if I made a list for how to make good magic.
Right.
So they are on different foundations.
But if you're saying that they're doing the card thing wrong, there are cards and they're doing it wrong. We're doing it more correct. That's just a bold thing to defend.
Yes, but it's the only thing to defend if you're cardistry first.
Right.
And do you have to be cardistry first in all instances? No. It's not that serious. But there is with this kind of stuff, I feel like online, like you do have to be kind of a character.
Somewhat of an absolutist.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd take that stand.
Yeah.
I think cardistry is more interesting than sleight of hand magic. Ooh. Got him. That's not, yeah. I hope that's not sounding like disrespectful.
No.
Because I've spent several years loving magic and sleight of hand magic. And I do it.
And I'm on the opposite side of that coin. Like I would just...
Do you feel more like a card magician than... You said the other week that you're not a cardist.
Right.
Are you a magician?
Yes. Yeah. And that gets into the filmmaker side of things too.
Right, because you like the show.
The show, the performance, the awe that's produced from watching a really good movie or the card shows up in your pocket type situation.
Yeah.
And I can get that watching Heritage, but it's a different thing. Mm-hmm. And just my nature is that of the magician.
Right. Well, we can stand up right now if you're trying to do something. Like, I don't know what you're saying. No, I guess.
We could just remain, I
could spend the next 30 minutes reflecting on loving card magic and how good the sleights feel and...
Well, if people just knew, because maybe they don't, that you worked with Caitlin for a meaningful period of time, being a mind in magic, that might cover all your bases. Because that was a bit of an underground.
But that was but I did get to experience feeling like whether I was or wasn't. I did feel before I did MB3. The reason I was around 3011 was because I was hanging with Caitlin a lot, and we were friends and could tolerate each other for long enough periods of time that we could try to work on magic together or whatever. I couldn't do what he does. I wasn't doing what he was doing when I was quote unquote working with him. I mean, paid me, but
I am curious so you were doing cardistry at that time because you had Nimbus Bowtie and 3D ready for when Andre and Michael Jonathan approached you about it. Mm-hmm. What did you find more compelling about cardistry that you eventually didn't continue pursuing being a person in magic? Because you had all the connections. You could have gone on to be a person in magic.
NB3, the Theory 11 project went good enough that I was like, I don't have to try to contend with Kaylin.
Nice.
And it's such a relief. Like, I didn't have to contend with Kaylin.
Right. Because he was such
I
a
could
force
do my
to
own
contend
thing.
with. Because he was like, what, 17-ish when he was... You said you started pretty young. Because you were like on Derek 120's channel and...
No, he was after high school when we were doing that, so... He was older than that, but... when would that have been? I don't know when that project came out. Was that...
NB3?
Yeah. Is that 13? 14? 15? 13. 14.
14.
Probably 14.
I think it was 2014.
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah. Wow. But it felt good. The whole thing felt good. It was fun remembering. It was fun being on Kaylin's side. It was fun saying something uncomfortable.
That probably just...
I'm less scared of speaking. I'm trying to be less scared of speaking.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that doing that probably dislodged, or at least gave you a bit of an EpiPen shot to say other things that may have been brewing. Or that, like, if I were the type of person to be rash, I would say X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I find myself thinking things that I wish I could say.
Yeah.
That I could never say if it's a problem if it's a problem to if it's a problem to
Call people losers.
call a magician a loser. Like, meaning a person who's not in my hierarchy.
Yeah.
Someone who just triggered me.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to be triggered for a moment.
Yes.
One word rant. Yeah, and it felt nice. It was good. So that's almost like I'm telling you this story, by the way, I guess. This whole podcast is, I actually did just want to tell all that to you.
Cool. Do you mind if I make it very public to everybody?
Yeah, upload it. Yeah, no, of course. I just thought you'd be interested in it. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a good excuse to record.
I was. Well, and we did it.
Right on. I do want feedback this time. I would like somebody to tell me
What they think.
if they understand what I'm saying. Because now I'd like to know if I'm being understood. So that'd be nice.
Well, tell us, people.
That's right.
I think that's that. I think that's it.
All right. Later.